he wrote a thoughtful critique of the U.S. News Med School rankings, which we're going to link to that particular post from the show notes at accepted.com/321. But for right now, can you summarize your critique?
So the blog post was kind of a critique of, so the U.S. News rankings they rank kind of college, graduate education and medical school specifically. And I had read this article in the journal Academic Medicine by an educator who pointed out that the rankings are kind of arbitrary. They're based on things which don't necessarily have a connection to producing good physicians, like really high MCAT scores or really high grades in certain science subjects, which you need for preparation for medicine, but you don't necessarily have to have the top scores. And by selecting the students with the top scores and saying that, the schools that have the most, that select the students with the highest scores in these things are the best schools, then you end up both misportraying, medicine as only for those type of people who do really well on tests, and in some specialties may actually not select people at all who would have been, great pediatricians or general internists or family physicians. It sort of got, it started when I read that article, but then it sort of got me thinking about, well, and reading a little bit about, like, what are the qualities that are needed? Like if you look back retrospectively and say, these are, this is a place that produces really great family doctors. Well, where do these people come from? What criteria do they use to select them? And I think some schools are doing that to some degree. I mean, it's obviously harder to take into account qualities like character, because how do you measure that? You can't do a standardized test of that necessarily. But there are ways to measure things like grit and to look at there are tests for implicit bias and things that will hurt you as a physician if you have them, or if or positive qualities that you lack. So that's mainly the point of the post was, I think U.S. News, at a minimum, if they keep ranking, they should incorporate other things in their rankings to make them more accurate. But perhaps, that schools shouldn't pay so much attention to those rankings in deciding how, what students to admit. That they really should be focusing on creating the types of doctors they want to come out of their school, rather than, what will nudge them a notch up the ranking scale.